Hey guys, what's going on? JCM Fix here again. Today what I want to show you is prior to my oil change on this 2009 Lincoln mkS, which has currently 220,281 miles. I want to show you an issue that's been plaguing all Fords and Lincolns alike. You'll see that here on this Lincoln mkS that we have two different style wheel lug nuts. But you say, why would they have two different style? No, guess what? They are not two different style. They're just when it will happen and when it will change style wheel lug nuts. Here we have a normal 19 millimeter size wheel lug nut where a 19 millimeter socket will go over. But here, if you try to put this 19 millimeter socket over this, it simply will not fit. Why does that happen? It's because they're using cheap products that eventually these particular wheel nuts will swell to an enormous size that is way outside of the original lug nut size. So what that forces me to do is go on Amazon or any particular hardware store and buy at least 3 different size sockets for these nuts. See, I have a normal 19 millimeter. Here I have 21 millimeter, and I also had to go get myself a Steelman Pro 18.5 and on the other side 19.5 socket. So I won't be using the 18.5 because this is for just if you have that size on a different type of car, but this is for here the Lincoln mkS or Ford Taurus if that is the vehicle you have. And then you may say, well, why do you have 21? Well, guess what? Sometimes even 19.5 won't fit if it's so degraded. Look at that. So you see, it's not fitting in there flush, so you're forced to go even another size up and then get yourself to a 21, and hopefully, you know, it doesn't have too much movement to where you can slowly take that off, because usually there isn't a size between 19 and 21. So that's how the sets usually work. So here you'll see we have a TEQ correct set, which has 10-piece deep impact sockets, 1/2-inch connections, and you'll see from here we have 24, 22, and this right here was a 21, and this was the 19, and then you got 17 right there. So even there, I'm not even done. Here I have to get myself a 1/2-inch extension made out of chrome vanadium, and from there I'm able to put it into this application because it has dual sizes. So from here, as you see, I'll just put this right in there, and then I'll get my breaker bar and put that right in there, and then from there I'll be able to remove these without a problem. So it's best to do it while it's on the ground. You may have yourself an impact, but I would suggest not using the impact because it'll just essentially twirl, 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 and you'll never be able to get this off once they're rounded. So you can see some of these are already rounding from previous uses, but I want to stop that, so that's why I forced myself to get a Steelman Pro 19.5 millimeter socket. So let's stop the talking and let's get to work. So first I want to show you a 19 millimeter. Even this has swelled up past the 19 millimeter stage, even though it actually looks okay. So as you can see here, it is not flush. Normally what you would have to do if you want it to be flush is just hit that in like that, and then eventually after moving in you could essentially take this off with your breaker bar. But no, we don't want to always do that because it's too tight, and then it makes it harder to take off, and then you'd have to get like a screwdriver and hit it on the ground just to get that bolt out. So what you would want to do is go up a size and go to 19.5. You may also have to hit this in a little bit, but it's better than the 19 millimeter because essentially you can just take that off super easy. So let's see how it works with the 19.5. Right in there with the extension, right in there with the breaker bar, just like that. So let's see if I have to hit it in at all. So see, I broke it. I did not have to hit it in with that particular one. But let's look down even further. So let's see how it will work with this super deformed wheel nut right there. See, look at that. It is not sitting in flush at all. I could go up to the 21, but as you saw before, it had a lot of movement. So what I need to do is get a hammer or a hard object and get it in there so it can be a little bit more snug. Let's do it. Once again, this is 19.5. So as you can see, it was going in little by little. All right, that should be enough. Let's see how it works with 19.5. And not good at all. It is super deformed. So you may have to rearrange and hit a little bit more in. Don't worry about this breaker bar. It's old. I don't truly care for it. I have other ones if I need it. All right, let's see how this works. All right, it took it off. But as you see, I had to change positions and hit it in a lot more just to take this off. So as you can see, there's really no point in going to Ford or Lincoln or complaining, because if you want a replacement, they'll just give you the exact same bolts, and within a couple of years, they'll essentially get swollen and you'll be going through the exact same thing. So if anything, you'd have to get a whole nother set from a different company. That's just what you have to do. All right, let's try a standard 19 millimeter. Too swollen, doesn't fit. Too swollen, doesn't fit. Right there, 19 millimeter works perfectly fine. So I can take this off and put this on and go ahead and remove it. Ah, super easy. See that? So keep in mind, I'm just breaking it at this time, because once I jack it up, then I'll remove it all with the actual impact wrench. But the braking part is the most important. You want to do it slowly. You don't want to jar up these edges. So as you can see, I had to go down to the 19 millimeters. Man, this is a job, man. Who knew that you'd have to use all these different tools just to take your bolts off? And yes, I have to keep these in the car while I drive, just to ensure if I get a flat tire, I need to use all these things or give it to the actual road repairman so that person could help me if ever I run into a problem on the side of the road. See? It's crazy. What are you doing, Ford? What are you doing, Lincoln? Look at that. Once again, super swollen. Let's see how the 21 looks. Too much movement, so I don't want to use that. So, same thing here. I need to go ahead and hit it in. All right, let's see if I can break it. Ah, there we go. So keep in mind, I will have a link in my description for every single thing you see here. Jack stands, deep impact socket sets, the actual Stillman Pro half-inch sockets for all sizes from 18.5, 19.5, I even have 21.5, and an actual breaker bar. All of those things will be within the link in my description. So other than that, it's time for me to go ahead and do an oil change and a power transfer fluid suction before the rain comes. Other than that, thank you guys for joining me. I hope this video helps anyone with these Lincoln mkS's, MKTs, Ford Tauruses, all the different type of vehicles that uses the same swollen, cheap lug nuts. Replace them if you can. If not, get those tools. Link in the description below. Have a blessed day. All right, let's see if I can break it. Ah, there we go.